Trace and I, they got a grand plan. Building a vacation app, the best in the land. Advanced patterns and step functions. They said with AI and integrations, it's gonna spread. They brainstorm together, their minds in sync, creating a platform to make your heart think. From sandy beaches to majestic blue seas, their app will bring vacations with ease.
That is just so catchy. I love these music videos. Hey, Andres, Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Alan. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Now, I'm actually going to throw a disclaimer out there as early as I possibly can that it is thunderstorming very hard here. Despite that I might look like I'm on vacation, it is actually really bad. Like there might be a tornado weather here. So if I drop for whatever reason, it is because my power went out.
Nice. Yeah, it's clear skies here, so I shouldn't have any issues.
You went through a duststorm the other day, right?
It was yesterday. Yeah, I got an alert from my phone and everywhere. It's like, okay, I moved to El Paso to a whole different type of storm, but
never
something that's
a storm.
Me neither. It looked terrible outside, but I wasn't as afraid as a tornado going through my house. So
did you go outside while it was happening?
Oh no.
No. I just wonder if it's like in the movies where you see like the storms in the desert and people go out there and it like rips your skin off and
no, it's not that intense. It's just it looks just all blurry outside.
Got it. Okay. Thank you, Kyle, for the well wishes on my power. I know Andres it'll be left in good hands if my power does go out. Plus, Jonathan is behind the scenes, who's a lot smarter than I am. He's actually the actual serverless hero that everybody else was put up against. So he is the kind of like how a bell pepper was like how the whole Scoville unit system was based off of. Jonathan was what the serverless heroes were based off of. So he's behind the scenes. Okay, so again, hey Andres.
Hey Alan.
What are we building today?
Today we're building a vacation planning app, or at least attempting to build a vacation planning app using step functions. No tank top. No, Mike, I do not own any tank tops.
Is that true?
So that is completely true. I do not have a tank top in my home. Maybe my wife has some, but I don't. So yeah, we're a vacation planning app using step functions, trying to leverage some native functionality, intrinsic functions.
I gotta show this one.
Yeah.
There you go. You do own scissors, right? I know you do. You have small kids.
Yeah, so maybe just my kids. I can definitely borrow some of those.
Yeah.
We'll do that next week maybe. We'll do some tank tops and then do the spirally thing and tie dye and all that fun stuff. But
great. But today we're going to be messing around with step functions. Now we're making a vacation planning app, and you know, Andres, you probably told me 12 times just in a row without even giving me a chance to fight back that things like ChatGPT can do all of this on its own, and it doesn't need anything. It doesn't need step functions to do. You can just say, you can just type in where you want to go and what you want to do, and it comes up with options for you. That's not the point. That's not the point today. Today we're going to be actually learning some of the hard things in step functions and making something fun while we're getting these concepts. So some of the concepts that we're going to be covering today are the direct integrations with I guess it's the optimized integration with Bedrock inside of step functions. That's one that they recently came out with in the past month or so. I also want to use the HTTP integrations. I haven't had a chance to do that. I was actually really excited when that one launched. I was part of the UX design, several rounds of that when they were working on it, and I haven't had a chance to use it. So I'm glad that I finally get the opportunity to try it. And then also we're gonna be working on just like branching, because what we're gonna be doing is compute intensive, and if we ran everything in sequence, it would take a lot longer than we'd like. So we're all these comments coming in talking about your backdrop. Talking, Alan. Let's just look at the Andres backdrop the whole time. Okay, so let's
trying to get the whole vibe
then.
going, Alan. You know, it's just I want to feel like I'm on a vacation to build a vacation app.
Let's do it then. Let's start. And so, where do you want to start? I'd never advocate for using the AWS console, and the one exception is building with step functions. But I mean, we could totally do that in VS Code now. That's absolutely something that you can do with the AWS extension app composer plugin, and just go to town and build your IAC as you go. Is that what you want to do?
Yeah, we can give that a try, right? Using SAM and SAM Sync, and see how we can iterate using App Composer and Step Function. Add another wrinkle into all of this.
Yeah, if it doesn't work, I guess we can just default to the console, but I'm sure you can get it to work. So I'm gonna let you drive from here, and I'll just I'll monitor.
Yeah.
Ben saying the muscle shirt vibes are strong. Thank you, Ben.
I have no muscle, so maybe that's why I don't own a tank top.
I came for the step functions. I stayed for the muscle shirt beach vibes. Hard to stay fast. Okay, so let's bring your machine up.
How's the size on the text down there?
It's okay. That's good.
Cool. So cool thing we can do is just get a starter template for us, right? With SAM init. So this is an empty project. I have a folder with nothing in it. So let's just initialize this and get a quick start. And we'll go from there. And there should be...
I've literally never done this before.
It's always a good time to start.
I'm already learning, and we're like 1 minute in past the small talk.
Yeah. Multi-step workflow, you think is a step function? Well, let's see if it is.
Yeah.
Node.js 20. I can't read. This is getting in the way. Would you like to enable X-ray? And let's not do that right now. Let's just go with defaults.
Monitoring. Would you like to set structured logging in JSON format for your Lambda function?
That seems convenient. Vacation app, vacation planner.
Okay, so while you're going through this and while it's doing that, we did some prep work. We actually did. This is not all off the cuff. We built a Google form. I didn't actually. I will call out Kelsey from Memento. Thank you for making our Google form. She gave us all the inputs for what would you like on a vacation. So we'll take a look at that in a minute after you get all bootstrapped and figure out the inputs to our vacation planner. So what we'll end up doing is having a Google form, fill out everything about what I would like to do for my vacation, and then we'll have it post to a webhook that triggers a step function workflow. And then if we have time, we'll email those results back to the person who submitted it.
Beauty. So this spun up. We got, it has tests and everything. Look at that. I've never done step function test. But if I render the state machine, we got a basic state machine here that we can start off with Lambda function with test and a template and a SAM config.
Well, that's legit. Okay.
And it has SAM sync. We don't need parameter override. So maybe this just works. This path, man, this is beautiful. So let me just I'm going to set my profile and log in so we can use SAM sync. So I'm going to SSO login You don't get to see.
Okay,
them
while
happen.
you're doing that, why don't I go ahead and show the form that we're going to be doing so we don't look at your SSO login.
It's done.
Okay, we're still going to look at the form.
Yeah.
It is deployed. Okay, so we have a few inputs. We have your status, because that actually changes a lot. That's funny. I feel like this has changed out from under me. Where do you live? So that's the the source. We'll figure out flights and everything for where the vacation's going to go. What's your age range? Who you going with? Do you want it hot or cold? Do you want to rot on the couch, or do you want to always be outside? Type of vacation, what's your budget, and how long you want to go for. This is all good stuff. I feel like these are like the top 6 questions that vacation planners actually ask you when they, I want to go somewhere, but I don't know where.
Yeah.
All right, back to what you're doing.
Cool. So I'm logged in, and first thing we can do is not even doing SamSync yet, but going into the template with the AWS SDK, or not, the AWS toolkit. You get this little cool thing up here that says open with Application Composer. I don't know if you can see it. And here are our resources. And look, there's a timer somewhere in this. Okay, it's getting the stock exchange and the timer. So the cool thing, once this all got integrated with VS Code, is you can go to Workflow Studio right within. Ooh, let me zoom out a bit. This is not looking nice.
Yeah, can you minimize the console for us? Console window. Yeah, there we go.
Let me center, and here it is, right? So visualized in Workflow Studio within VS Code. So cool thing here, you get all the nice stuff where I selected this integration, which has its inputs and has its configuration where you specify API parameters and all that. So this is, we got a starting point here.
Yeah.
So now down here, all I'm going to do, I'm already signed in, so I'm going to do SamSync. Since I've never deployed this, it should deploy something. And in the SAM config, it already had the watch as true, so it's going to default with the -- watch attribute.
And what does that mean?
That it's going to keep it active. It's going to be watching the files in this folder, in this stack, and then auto update, kind of like a live refresh with the cloud.
Okay, so it's pushing changes. It's a hot reload.
Yeah.
Okay. Or a live reload, I guess. Cool.
Yeah. So it's building.
Okay, so the first step, while that's building, let's talk about the first thing that we're going to have to do. The first thing that we're going to want to do is we obviously need to parse these inputs and figure out like where. That's going to be one of the things. So let's figure out, let me bring my screen back real quick.
Yeah.
Of the inputs, we need to figure out what do we need to do to ask the LLM where do we need to go, because that's what we're going to end up doing. We're going to ask Claude where we need to go based on this set of inputs, and we can do, let's see, what's important.
So we'll
Weather
get a
activity.
payload. We can start with one attribute and then start iterating from that, right? But we can, well, I'm assuming we're going to get a JSON payload into this. We can do some intrinsic function magic to pull some of this data out and then start sending it to Claude and getting some information.
Yep. So can you, from the IDE, from VS Code, you can't like do test runs in there, right? Like we have to use the console to actually do test runs?
If we know the input, yes, we can do the test run we can do everything from the console. It's the beauty of today, right? Even if we can't, we can stamp a API gateway with an endpoint and use the Postman extension as well, right? So there's multiple ways.
Yeah. Okay. So let's take a look at the JSON. I know I sent you an example payload yesterday.
I think I have it
I
in
think we've
Notepad
probably
somewhere.
sent 400 messages to each other in Slack since then. So that's
Yeah,
pretty far down. Here, I'm going to switch back to your screen so I can find it.
I got it here. So I can show
Okay.
something how it looks like. It might have changed a little bit from what it was initially. I don't think we have this.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
But
right?
everything else is, yep, that's what we'll use. So that'll be the input that gets sent from our Google form whenever we hit
Save
submit.
this. Now we have a
Okay,
testing.
so why don't we build out the string just here in this file, and then we can do the string interpolation in the JSON, or sorry, in the step function definition afterward. Once we figure out
what
what
do
we
you mean?
want to say to it.
What do you mean set up the string here?
Just type out the string what we're going to ask the LLM.
Oh,
Yeah, I can do that. I think I have access to this.
I can make it a JSON C so we can add a comment here. Were you able to get in here?
I think it's working right now.
Let's do TXT. Does this, yeah, we can start with this. So, what do you want? Plan a vacation? You're better with
So,
LLMs.
There's
at
two
this
things
point
that you need
than
to
I am.
pass in to an LLM. You need to give it the system prompt. So you're basically telling we're basically going to be telling Claude what it is, meaning like you're an expert vacation planner. So we need to build two things. Not I am. No, you are.
You are. Yeah, you're telling.
Yep. You are an expert vacation planner. And when you, what else do we say? You're an expert vacation planner who specializes in building dream vacations that match your customers' criteria. You never veer outside of what they want.
That's a new word. How do you spell veer?
VEER. Yeah, there you go.
Interesting. You never veer
Outside of what they want.
outside of what you want.
So really what we're doing here is we're telling the LLM that you really need to use the criteria we're about to give you.
Cool.
And that's it. That's all we're going to have for the system prompt. And then underneath it, that's when we're going to be giving it an actual message. So the message that comes from the user. So this is going to have the string interpolation in it, where we need to actually use the variables that come in from the form.
Okay.
So let's say find the best place to take a vacation. Maybe what is the best place to take a vacation? Let's do that. Best place to take a vacation for someone who is, and let's sub status.
Status?
Yep.
We have status? Oh, yeah. Look at that.
How are we going to include all these variables? So for someone who, let's just sub it while we go. For someone who is married, traveling, or aged, and then sub age.
Age.
Traveling with, and then sub companions. Yep, period. And then let's do a new sentence. And then we'll say
Preferably.
an ideal vacation for them. Man. Okay, so I'm realizing now that the weather preference is a scale of 1 to 5. So we're gonna say
We will need a mapping somewhere.
we can pass it to the LLM like that. For them is, yep, so that's good. with a weather, or I guess with the temperature on a, with the temperature being a, yeah, there you go. Being a,
Is one coldest?
With the temperature with, yeah, okay, so you want to do the scale first. Okay, yeah. With the temperature on a scale from 1 to 5, from cold to hot.
1 is cold and 5 is hot.
2 comma. A, and then we're going to sub in weather preference.
Where 1 is, with temperature on a scale from 1 to 5, where 1 is cold and 5 is hot. A?
So basically what we're going to say, yeah, a 4. That's how it's
4.
going to read.
A.
Sub weather preference. There you go. There you go. And then we'll do a new sentence, and then we have to do the activity preference, like for the level of activity. And then so we'll basically structure the next sentence the same.
Travelers want an activity preference of reference where 1 is what?
Lazy.
Lazy, and 5 is super active.
Yep. Perfect. Exactly how I would have said it. And then I don't think we need to factor in budget or number of days yet. I
Okay.
think we'll do that when we're talking about things to do and places to stay. Because right now what we're doing with this prompt is we're just looking for location.
Yep.
And then what we're going to have to do is tell the LLM to like how to respond, because really what we want to do is we want to take this result and just feed it along as a variable to downstream things. So we need to say respond only with the city
The city
3
and what?
country.
Country.
There we go. Yeah.
Respond. This is misspelled. Respond only with the city and country. That matches the criteria.
No,
I know we already.
No. Nope. Don't need that.
Okay.
That's it. Okay. So from there, so what we've done so far, let's recap, because that was a lot of me talking and you typing. That we set up the system prompt. So we told the LLM, and when I say LLM, that stands for large language model, which is the generative AI brain, basically. And what we're using today is a brain from a company called Anthropic. We're using a recent release from them. We're going to be using Claude 3. And we're going to actually use Sonnet today. They released 3 versions, Haiku, Sonnet, and Opus, with Haiku being the dumbest, Sonnet being kind of the mid-grade, and then Opus being the top of the line. I was trying to use Opus earlier this week, and it was super, super slow. So for the sake of the live stream, we'll use Sonnet because I know that one's pretty quick. So we've set up the system prompt. We've told the LLM who it is and how it needs to approach the answer. And then we've given it a question, or basically a prompt with the variables that are coming in from that web form. And hopefully it responds with only the city and country, so we can just chain that down the line. So now we need to go in and actually build that into the step function. I think what we'll do, Andres, if you agree, is let's clear everything out of this template, add the optimized, throw that in there, and then just see what happens.
It's
So
Bedrock.
type in Bedrock, invoke model. Yeah. Let's see what it does. Let's see what it has here for input.
Usually just do this on the ultra wide, so it's very different.
Okay,
I'm not get-
so we can choose. It has a list of foundational models, and before this stream I went and enabled the Sonnet for us.
So are we just gonna hard code the model? Do we need
Yeah.
to?
Yes, we do. And
Um,
let me fetch that for you.
Get model, enter cloud formation substitution. Oh, you got the ARN.
I'm actually kind of surprised. Is it a full? Oh gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
I did not expect that.
For it to not be like a drop down.
I expected it to be a drop down. Yeah. It's fine. We'll figure it out. Okay. There you go. I sent it to you in our exclusive private chat. But that's not the ARN. I don't actually know how to find the ARN, so I'm sure it'll tell us.
So ARN, AWS, yeah, that goes away. I want to copy this. I want to copy the placeholder. Must be a valid model. So it is just telling us it's not. So let's do ARN, AWS, Bedrock, US East 1. US East 1.
You were nailing this. Nice.
Foundation model.
Oh, I see what you're doing. Clever guy.
And then we get, where is Anthropic? I'm assuming this will work. Still must be, I don't failing, it's just saying it must be a valid model. And then enter model inference.
Nice. So we can already choose Claude. That's nice.
I'm gonna pull this out.
Okay.
So now
I am actually not sure this is the right one. This is the prompt structure for Claude 2, not 3. It changed. I think it's backwards compatible, but I'm not 100% sure that it's going to give us exactly what we want. We'll see. I haven't used the optimized task, but
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So go ahead and why don't we start parameterizing this with step function's intrinsic function for states.format.
Yeah, so let me do a past state where we will somewhere there. So in this past state, we will transform with parameters. And well, at least that's how I do it. I don't know if you have another way of manipulating. But we'll get, from our test prompts, we'll first get status, right? So we'll do status, and then do states. Let's see if I can do it from memory. Format, this.
What are you doing?
Getting the status.
You do. I'm actually curious what you're doing. I'm gonna let you go, and then I'm gonna enlighten you when you're done.
Okay. I'm just trying to get. We're gonna get state or yes.
Is this why your stories took so long to complete when you worked for me? Because you were doing things this way? Oh,
yeah, I get paid by the hour, Alan. Oh no, I don't. States and the input that we have defined will have status like this, right? Just getting something into, and then this needs to be that. I'm just gathering the data, right? The simplest one is the status. Something's wrong. I need to close this. Are you impressed? Is that why you took your sunglasses off?
No, I'm trying to see the screen to figure out exactly what you're doing. Okay,
so I'm trying to
let's
track the data, right? So now we're gonna do status is
the
equals
data, though.
But we need to. I guess we don't have an array. Well, we do have an array. I guess it's just an array. It's already an array.
You were very well. I was gonna say you were very close, but I don't want to lie to you. Let's do this. go back to that text prompt.txt, and we'll build it out there where we have a little bit more space to function. So the command for string substitution inside of a step function workflow is state.format, right? So let's do this. So let's open up the parentheses and do, yep. Go ahead and just paste our prompt in there. Let's just start from that.
The system.
And then we'll go,
prompt?
not
Oh,
that one, not that one.
Yeah, this one has
Yep.
the.
Cool. So do that. And we're going to work our way from the beginning to the end. So the first one, yep, just get rid of that. And so the open and closed curly brackets are how you indicate to step functions that this is a variable substitution. And then at the end of the function call, no, this is not, hold on. At the end of the function call is where you indicate where to pull the values from to put into there. So what we can do is we can use the initial context object to pull that in. So it's $, $2.
Oh, it's 2, yeah.
Dot execution dot input dot, and then this is going to be the name of the parameter that we were pulling from. Yep. Okay. And then basically we're just going to rinse and repeat that. So we're going to go to the next substitution. Yep. Get rid of that. We know we need to pull the age property. Yeah, perfect.
Let me just copy this. It's just going to be repetitive. Is it just age?
I don't know. Can you split the screen again?
Yeah. Is it still visible? Pretty readable?
Yep.
Cool. Age. Then we're do companions. I guess the plus might be helpful. So let's do companions.
I don't actually know what's going to happen because that property name has a question mark in it.
Yeah.
Let me go update the form and we'll get rid of that question mark. And let's just, let's do that. Yeah.
There we go. Companions, and I'll keep going while you do that. An ideal for location in the, so paste location and weather preference. This is not spelled correctly. Location and weather preference. It has a space in it.
Okay, let's just push that up together.
Or will something like this work? I haven't tried that type
I
of
don't know either.
JSON path.
It is yeah. Let's try that. Actually,
Okay.
curious to see if it accepts that.
Oh, it's still missing activity preference. So it's going to be the same. Activity preference, copy, paste.
Well, you have an extra dot there after the input. There you go.
Oh, and these, yeah, there we go.
Okay. Look at that. So that is the parameterized prompt that we're going to be passing into the LLM. So we can go drop that in.
Let me save this, remove this. Let me save this. I removed autosave. This is from experience. If you have SamSync and autosave, there's a lot of movement because it's autosaving on your debounce time. So the prompt, that's as part of the prompt. So we would need then a states format here.
We would need to update what we put inside of the state stuff format to be that. And that's still, we will see what it does. That's not how Claude 3 prompts are anymore. So we'll see what ends up happening.
So it's going to be
human :space, then everything that we had.
Looking at the comments real quick, but yeah. Okay. So now I can't see it because my screen is so small, but it's prompt, so we need something like this. Let me pull this up here.
It should be exactly what you. Oh yeah, okay.
So it's gonna be. Does it need the dash and that /n? Sorry,
I don't know.
it's just.
I'm
follow
still not
the
100% sure this is the right thing to do anyway, but we'll live and learn. Space, and then at the end, do the assistant. Yeah, /n.
No, but it's in the string. So here.
Yeah.
/n/n. Look, it's even. I guess it's
And if
Copilot or
anybody
something.
that's joining us doesn't know, /n indicates a new line. So this is the code representation of multiple line strings.
Yep.
Do me a favor, Andres, real quick. Add a space after the colon.
Add a space here,
Yeah,
and the assistant too.
I don't know. We'll leave that. Let's leave that.
Okay. So I got this.
Okay, that looks good.
So now I'm gonna replace all of this with states.format, and this needs a boom $sign for a JSON path.
I'm
What is
wondering
it?
if we have an extra.
Quote somewhere inside of this. These are
Oh, I think it's just a new line. Let's go up to the top and just press delete after the period.
where were
That's
we?
just a multi-line prompts.
I'm not sure.
Go scroll all the way to the right and see where it says open curly bracket, open close curly bracket period.
I think it's breaking because of this, though. We have quotes.
Wrapping right there. Okay.
My confidence levels are lowering, but
I
and then
do think it's good that we put the escape in there, but I'm also pretty sure there's just an enter. There is a new line that we can't see in the prompt.
okay. So let's see. Yep, you are correct, Alan.
I wonder what it's complaining about now. I thought that was good. Oh, we might need to close. I think we need to close it with a close parenthesis. We're missing that?
No, it's
Oh,
here.
no. No.
Well, we don't know how to string interpolate. Must be valid JSON to reference a node. Let's see. /n/n. Maybe it's not liking this. Let me.
Yeah,
remove
you're right. It
this.
might not like that.
Now
Let's try.
that you were right the first time, I wasn't. Yay. Okay.
Here we go. All right. Cool. Now we're cooking. And I guess max tokens at 200 is probably fine. That's a pretty small prompt, and we're looking for only a 2-word answer, so 200 is
I'll
fine.
make this. Okay. Let me save this. Seem to be fine. There is a /n between your what? Where did my command prompt go? Here it is. So I saved this, so now it's just refreshing because I saved the Workflow Studio.
Does this add the necessary permissions to the execution role?
I doubt it.
Let's go ahead and do that.
Ugh. It changed it to,
Oh, it's doing it all inline.
but this is JSON now, and the file is YAML. So interesting. Interesting.
Is there a problem with it?
No. Well, it's still deployed, so
Okay. So let's add the permissions. So go to the execution role wherever that's defined.
state machine, definitions, substitutions. Yeah, I don't like what it did. Events policies. This became raw cloud formation, right?
Is this what it's normally? Have you done this before? Like, have you used Workflow Studio?
I have. So this should have been updated, right? And this keeps its format.
Yep.
But I don't know why it usually keeps my format as YAML. Because I don't like
that
this.
It's JSON inside of a YAML file.
So I am gonna copy my YAML from somewhere else. So hold on. Just to keep it. Because the good thing about having examples. This is another step function I already had, so we'll get to these pieces. State machine. Workflows. We are under state machine.
Should I wear a jacket? .asl.json.
Stock trader asl.json. We don't have definition substitutions. We don't have secrets manager. We don't have retrieve connection.
I'll send you the permission that we do need. There you go.
Okay. Ooh, resource all. Okay.
I think that's actually no. I don't know. Never mind.
So this should point to our stuff. It's a state machine. I'll just call it stocks trader right now because that's what it was. And I'm saving this so it triggers.
And so are you going to be testing it from inside of VS Code, or are we hopping over to the console? What do you want to do?
I have the test input. You changed companions, and these are the same, right? So yeah, we can try it from Visual Studio. Let's just let the deployment finish. I'll connect this thing. Proceed to browser. No. Yeah. Confirm. I'm signing in.
We used to do things, I feel like, identical when it came to development inside of AWS. And, we haven't worked together in almost a year and a half now, and we have diverged significantly.
It's the event rule. Delete. Oh, it's deleting. It's not a failure.
What is it doing?
Connect to AWS. I'm trying to connect with, you can see all the profiles. I don't know if you can see this, but
I can.
No check. No. Oh, gosh.
Well, the good thing is that we have at this point done a lot of the hard work, and the rest of it should fall into place relatively quickly after this. It's a lot of rinse and repeat. At this point, there's not much that's new that we have left to build as far as figuring out what the inputs are, like how to call these different tasks. It's a lot of prompting. It's a lot of asking the LLM, now do this information, now do that. We should be using HTTP integrations to do some lookups. One of the things that Andres pushed back on me on when we were talking about what we were going to build was, we can just use these models for everything, including like the activities to do, the places to stay. And yes, that's true if you're using a model that was trained up to a very recent date. And so all these language models, they're basically frozen in time. This is what everything looked like based on the training data up to, let's say, March 15th. So anything that happens from March 15th to today, that model is going to have no idea that it exists, and it's not going to put that in its answer. So one of the ways that you can combat that without constantly looking for the new models and trying to, consistently keep up to date and hope that information is put into the training data is you can actually go in and do internet searches on your own and use that and basically enrich your prompts with that information and pass it to the LLM as well. You can basically say, here's research that I did for you. Consider this in your answer. And then it can take that along with what it knows up to its training date and come up with a plan for you.
So if we were to use an LLM, it would be the equivalent of, hey, I need 3 years of experience from you because it's older data. No,
I don't know. I didn't follow.
Because Alan. Okay.
It again. Okay. No. Okay.
So here
Good.
we are. It's deployed. It cleaned up the old one because we changed the state machine. So now we have this one where we can start execution, and I can either select a file or
provide the JSON yourself. Nice.
yeah. So here it is. Here's the JSON, and I'm going to execute it. The sad thing here is you don't get the execution and all that fun stuff. So we might still, well, you get like a log, but you don't get the visualization that is nice.
Which we're probably going to need because I'm pretty sure this is not going to work.
Oh, it immediately failed. So
did it?
Yeah.
How can you see that?
Because I have the console open somewhere else.
let's bring up the console. Let's take a look.
Do you have it at hand or?
I can bring it up. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, so we've run this step function workflow one time. Let me zoom in a little bit.
Yeah.
Is that good? And it failed. Okay. Where is the error? Error occurred. The function.
Execution input location cannot be found. Location.
Well, location is an array. So what we can do here is we can use another intrinsic function and combine those values. I think
It's a
there
string
is
join
a
or something.
array join. Yeah. I don't actually know what it is. So
I'm gonna open the ASL directly and see if Copilot helps me here. Oh, you're searching.
Intrinsic function. Yeah, I've searched for this.
I think
Who
it's
knows how many.
array. Yeah, it's purple already. It's array.join, I think. States.
I didn't see it. Array contains, array partition, array. Let's look for join. Oh, no. Maybe there's not one. Well, that would be unfortunate.
Interesting. Very unfortunate.
Okay, so then I guess what we can do is we'll just take index of 0 on that guy. And we'll just move on.
Yeah, location 0. Let's see if that works. I'm gonna save this. It should trigger an update. Oh, you're not looking at my screen, but I changed it.
Okay, I will go back and we'll take a look.
1249. So you can see, cool. It
so it's
immediately synced it. Yeah, you can open that execution and rerun it if you want from there. So
That's a really nice tip. I'm sorry.
Do
Just
new
continue what you were-
do new execution. It should take the input parameters from that one and boom.
It immediately failed again. The field. Oh, there's a dollar sign that's missing on that one.
On which one?
Location.
Oh no, where?
Execution.input.location. It's missing a dollar sign. When you're trying to access the global context, you need $2 in the front.
It has them. So if you look at the definition there, it should have them. Comma.
I've never used this so zoomed in. Here we go.
I think you can't just access the index like that, right? It's a get item.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. Let's change that. You want me to bring the thing back?
Yeah, the intrinsic function.
State.array get item.
Get item, where the first parameter is it's this thing.
Is the value, so you'll use the execution.input. Here, I'm gonna switch back to your screen so we can see it. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Okay.
So here it is. Array get item. We're passing in the array and getting item 0.
There we go. That's how you actually do it.
So saving, it's updating, and it's synced. So you can run it again now.
If there's anybody that's watching us that is not a developer, this is like exactly what it's like. Oh, we're missing a $sign. Let's change that and run it again.
Let me go Google. What I need to use. And
Okay, failed. Hopefully it's a different error. That's also exactly what development's like. Come on. It says that it can't find that.
Which one is it?
The JSON path argument for the field execution input location cannot be found.
Are we missing something on the execution?
On that.
Execution context. We might be missing. No, it's execution.input. Interesting.
It does look like it's spelled right.
So open the execution input. There is location. Oh, it has a space. Beautiful. So
okay, all right. Let's. We'll just change that. We don't need to change the code for that. This is that is a form bug, not a code bug. So let's do that. Let's do new execution.
I can run it from here. Test input.
There we go.
It's not support on this API. So is this not? This means it's not supported. Yeah.
That means we're not going to be able to use the optimized integration, which is fine. That means we can still use the normal one. So let's edit the state machine from here. Let's change. Let's see if we can. I don't know if we can. Is there more than one? Yeah. I think it's this one. Boop. Yeah. Yeah, this is it. This will work. So this is the one that is not the optimized integration, but because step functions integrates with everything, we can actually just call it directly. So it doesn't have the nice features that this one would have or should have had, but that's okay. That's okay. So we have the model ID. My goodness. There we go. Okay. So the other option that we could have done in this situation is just change the model to one that is supported, one that has that. But with Bedrock, you don't just have access to all the models. You have to go in and specifically request access to individual ones. And I did not do that ahead of time. I did the I did the Claude 3. I didn't think we were going to need 2. So I guess it is what it is.
How's the body structured? Do I remove in our test prompt?
Yeah, we're gonna need to do. Honestly, I don't know. I'm looking at code that I have, and it uses a stringified JSON object. So I think we're gonna have to use that intrinsic function to do that.
Okay.
See what that's called. think it's from JSON.
It's
merge, string to JSON, JSON to string. Okay. This is actually where we're going to have to get into what you were doing earlier, where we have the past state to format this object appropriately. And then we're going to have to use this intrinsic function because you can't do both at the same time. I don't think you can. So let's do that.
Cool.
So let's get rid of that. We have to bring in a path. And we're going to build this body. We're going to call it body. And we will say we need prompt. And that was what we initially had at the very beginning, right?
Yeah.
We'll get that in a second. What else? The other properties that we need. I'm going to do this so you can bring this into the code, Andres. We don't have to have temperature, but I like temperature. Temperature is telling the LLM how crazy you want it to be.
Okay.
So, if you say you want a cold, high active vacation and you want to be gone for 10 days, it might come back with like Venus for a high temperature. So we're gonna have it be a cool 0.5 there, just kind of to get a middle of the road thing. Max tokens to sample. And so these are all very specific. Like these properties don't apply to everything. This is specifically with Anthropic's Claude 3, what we're putting in here. So let's do 350 tokens just in case. And then I'm going to copy and paste what I have over here. That Anthropic version.
And this is going to put Application Composer into tests, see what it does, because you're changing this from under the VS Code stuff. But there's a sync button, and I don't know what that would do. So we'll see.
Okay.
I don't know what it does with drifts.
This is quite a big drift.
Yeah.
Doing it wrong again. This is not the right format, unfortunately. But I just did it this week to figure out what we needed. So let me bring up a different code sample to reference.
Nice. It's the good thing about being prepared. A little bit.
What I love about doing live things, right? I have no idea what to do, but let's figure it out while we go. Okay. Here we go.
A pina colada or something with this music.
And shout out to Jonathan who found this background music for us.
Yeah.
Okay, so instead of prompts, Claude 3 accepts a messages array. And inside of that messages array, you have objects. And these objects have your role system. So this is that first prompt that we did where we were telling it what to do. Can you put that in our chat?
Yes.
So I can add that in here. And so Claude 3 is also multimodal, which means that it can do text and it can do images as well. And when you do that, you have to indicate the type of prompts that you're giving it in the message. So for us, we're going to say this is a text message for you to define your system role. And we have...
You have the states format down. Oh, this is the system one. So yeah, I sent that.
Yep. So that's our system role. or our system message, right? So we're saying this is the system, and here is what we're passing to it, and now we actually have the real prompt, which is structured the same. Instead of a system, we're going to say this is a user prompt. So this is that represents, like, if you're doing something with like ChatGPT, that would be you typing.
Okay. And does it still need the human and that part of the prompt that we have?
No,
Okay,
that
makes
was B2's syntax. Okay, so type text. What are you
So
laughing at?
James Eastham is asking, how are we seeing our laptop screens with shades on? Brightness 2000%. Something like that, James.
I have an Elgato key light shining directly in my face. This actually helps a lot. I feel like I should do more streams like this.
The fact that there's no storms here and there's a lot of light outside helps me too.
Hey, there we go. Okay. That wasn't too hard, right?
But now remove human and assistant. Or what was it?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And then we have... Oh, there were a lot more substitutions than I thought.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and now I messed up the JSON somewhere else. Somehow? Do you see where that's messed up?
I'm looking at the array. Open, close, open, close, open, close, open, close.
Boom. I don't know. It looks like it looks right to me.
So it's remove the last pieces just to see if the top, if it's something with that lower piece. Yeah. And the comma, yeah. So it's something with that other stuff. And click there's a format button, right? Or no?
Yes. If you just get out of the field, it formats it for you automatically.
Yay. Okay.
Nice.
So that works. So then after... It doesn't like the 0.5, I think.
Oh, right. Has to have a 0.
And now... Oh, it's missing a comma after that.
Okay.
You used
There
to
we
call
go.
me a JSON developer, right? So I can look at these things.
Okay.
JavaScript.
So let's talk about what we did here. Let's name this something meaningful. Create model input. Okay, so what we did here is we formatted the structured JSON that's required for Claude work for that body. Now, specifically, what this trigger needs is a string, and it will Bedrock behind the scenes will parse that string into a JSON object, and then get all those values there. But what we needed to do, based on how intrinsic functions work, is we needed to create this JSON object as is first, and then what we can do is we can come into here and we can say states dot JSON to string. See this?
Yeah.
And we'll say body because we called it body. And so what that's going to do is going to take that structured JSON that we just built, turn it into a string, and pass that on to the model. And there are more properties that we need. Not much. And this is something that I can just copy and paste.
And you'll need to remove the second Bedrock invoke.
Yes. Thank you for that reminder. Yes. There we go. Okay. I think we got it.
Is it going to work?
100% guaranteed success.
It's sure thing.
Was that? Were you doubting? We just spent all this time. We just spent like 20 minutes coming up with that. Of course it's going to work. Ah. Okay. So what I found through a lot of trial and error is that these integrations, these SDK integrations, actually use the Java SDK behind the scenes. So it does not take the JavaScript parameters, but rather the Java, which is the capital letters. Look at that. Yes. Okay. So we're gonna exit back because we want that execution context from before. New execution, guaranteed success.
It's success. Well, did it actually trigger? Let's see. Oh, it's in progress.
Oh man. Okay. I feel better about that. Extraneous key is not
Max
permitted.
key.
Okay. Well, we're just messing it all up. Okay. It didn't like literally anything that we provided to it.
Please reference your input and try again.
Expected type JSON array. This is where having the sunglasses looking at my machine is coming in not clutch. So James, I don't think I actually would recommend it now. We'll see. No. Okay. Let's change it. Do you want to edit this in code? Because we need two windows now, basically. We need to look at what was wrong and we need to edit it. How do you want to proceed? I mean, I can keep jumping. I know that makes for good live TV.
I'll try and sync and see what happens. I've never done a sync. Yeah, I'm not liking what it's asking me. Just send me the definition you got.
We're good. Okay. So the first thing it didn't like is it didn't like max token to sample, and that is because that is definitely not the right thing to provide. It is actually just max
token.
Plural.
I'll connect my Code Whisperer so that when we're back in VS Code, we have someone smart to correct us.
Okay. Then it says that for the content for this says that's not a valid value. Let's try something else. I swear I had this working the other day, but I think we might just need it to be system kind of at the upper level. Let's try that. Doesn't hurt to try. Why we're developers. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say we're probably not gonna get a vacation planned by the end of this, but we'll see. We'll see how quickly it goes, how strong our copy and paste game is toward the end. Okay, so we're getting rid of the system message and putting it up at the top, which I remember doing at one point. I don't remember if it failed or not. And then the last thing that it says is for content for user is that it expected an array, but it got a JSON object. So I guess we'll just try surrounding this in an array. And just being petty and seeing if that's what it wants. Now. Third.
In progress.
Look at that.
Success.
Yes. Okay. Jonathan, is there like something that we can like throw on the screen that's like a
fireworks
hooray or something? Okay, let's see what it says.
Output.
Cancun, Mexico. I'll accept that. It did exactly what we wanted it to say.
It goes with the vibes.
Yeah, it does.
There you go. Yay.
Perfect. Perfect.
Love it.
You know what I realized now we need a sound that can play in the background that's like a party horn or something that we can just play like one time.
You got the soundboard, right? You can do like dan, 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 like on the radio.
Lovely. Okay, so we can't use this.
We can't.
I wanted to see what you were going to say. Not as is. Obviously, this is stringified JSON, so we're going to need to parse that, and we're going to need to get specifically at Cancun, Mexico. So we're going to need to go back to the intrinsic function. So let's do that. We're going
so
to do a
doing
pass.
the same as what we did, but reverse. Parse it.
Yeah.
And it's going to probably need 2 passes because I wish the parameters you're defining in the pass could be reused as lower the variables go, but no, you need the output.
Yeah. Okay, so this is body. So the intrinsic function that we're going to be using is string to JSON. And we're going to say, we'll just call this answer. That's probably good, right?
Yep.
And then we're going to do string to JSON body. Just like that.
Oh, there.
Okay, so that's good. And then that's going to give us the object, this object.
And from that, we can then now parse.
We need text.
Ooh, several levels. Text.
Is it? No.
Oh, that's
No.
type. Okay, yeah. So it's just text.
So there's content. And then 0. Oh, goodness. Okay.
I'm just gonna get it, string it, or parse it locally in my VS Code, and that might be
It's
simple.
content 0 and then text. And then that's our answer. But what do we need to do there? Okay, get data out.
Parse string of
Format it.
JSON.
So now we're going to
So-
take it. Now that we have that JSON object. Oh, wait, what are you doing?
No, I was just looking at the real JSON, not the stringified one. So yeah, destination is gonna be
So we have the object.
$sign.
And we're going to need to do string.format. No, states.format. Because we need to do some manipulation in here. I think.
I don't
So
think
we
so. I mean, we
have-
can just give it the straight up text, right? Cancun, coma.
I just don't know, as we're accessing. I wanted to do one shot, right? Because what we have to do is we have to get that first element out of the array, and then we have to access a property off of that first element. I don't know if we can do that. I don't think we
Oh,
can.
I see. Yeah, so it's states dot array get item.
We have array get item, and then we have the path to that, which was what?
It's $sign dot content
Content?
and then
And we
0.
want-
Yeah, it's content. Yeah, lowercase and 0.
And so I don't actually think we can do this in one go. I think we're kind of out of options. We have to do 3 passes.
No, because then. Oh
What can
yeah,
we do?
because you can't do a dot model there or dot text after that. So yeah,
That is unfortunate.
that's where proper JSON path support and step functions can be magical.
Yeah.
Because this you could do it in one go with JSON path. So that's destination object, then another pass. What you do to get around a Lambda function, right?
Totally worth it. Totally worth it. Especially, no, we wouldn't run this as an express workflow. This would cost significantly more since you pay for the standard
For transition.
state transition. So we have this, and that really is just destination. I mean, we don't have to do this at all.
We could pass it the array and
yeah.
let it assume.
Yeah, because really what we're going to have to do after this is do a parallel, because we're going to do multiple branches that do things. And then we can pass in, yeah, we can format, yeah, we're good, we're good. We'll do this for show, though.
Cool.
We're nothing if not showmen. Is it content or text?
It is text.
Okay.
Let's see if we actually get the text.
We wouldn't, because I forgot this $sign.
Yeah.
Make sure I put a $sign.
Still
here.
happens.
No, it would have been
every,
a double fail.
Like every day I see that, it's like, oh, why did I get the dollars, like the raw JSON path? It's like, oh, okay, makes sense. Forgot that.
Yep. So what's actually going to happen here is, because we're using generative AI, it's probably not going to say Cancun, Mexico anymore. It's probably going to say something else that is a...
We messed something.
Let's see what it was. Let's look at the input.
It's with
Answer.
Answer.content. Yeah, it's fine.
Of all the things that could have gone wrong, at least it's that. Like,
and it's one thing to call out with step functions. One of the hardest parts is these JSON path things, looking at the input output, where you actually have the, what's that little tool to kind of map your input output, what the result path, what the parameters and all that does. So there's that, and then now there's the test state where you can actually run it with test data and see what happens with the input and the output. So it's getting better to make our lives easier. Wait, we got nothing. Destination.
It's interesting. The destination. Did I spell it wrong? No. Oh, there it is.
There it is. Yeah. You got
Cancun, Mexico. There we go. So it took us 1 hour and 16 minutes to get past our small talk and then get to a point where we can ask an LLM, where should I go? And so that's not a full vacation right there. That is a destination. That's an idea. So for fun, I actually am going to turn the temperature up on this, and we're going to see the more fun results that it has. And then
we can tell it. Don't always say Cancun.
But please stop saying Cancun. Okay. So now we're at a spot where we actually have a destination. So we've given it a whole lot of input. Let's actually take a look at what that looks like. Let's look at the run real quick, and let's take a look at what everything looked like after all the variables were substituted.
Whew.
There. What is the best place to make a vacation? Take a vacation. Maybe that's why it keeps doing Cancun. Are you already drunk? Go to Cancun. Let's just fix that right now. Okay, so with all the variable substitutions, what's the best place to take a vacation for someone who is married, age 31 to 40, traveling with significant other, +1? An ideal vacation for them is in the beach with temperature on a scale of 1 to 5, where 1 is cold and 5 is hot, a 4. That's probably not phrased the best, but I think the LLM is smart enough to understand. The travelers want an activity preference of 5, where 1 is lazy and 5 is super active. Respond only with city in the country. That's okay. I mean, I would type something like that inside if I was like using ChatGPT or something. But what's cool is that we use all those values that we did inside of that Google form and have now turned that into a prompt that we can invoke in LLM. It's pretty neat.
Cool. Yeah.
What's next?
Let me see.
I would really like to try that API that you found the other day that does the flight.
Yes. So let's try that. Let's see if that works. So for that, we'll need to do the HTTP invoke.
Yes.
Right? So we obviously want to do a direct integration. And for that, what it needs is an event bridge connection. That's what it uses to authenticate with an API.
So should we go ahead and set one of those up?
Yeah, we can do it from the console here.
Do we need Do you need an API key, or is it an open thing?
It's so I try to look for an API that would get you flights and stuff. That's not easy. Everything requires you to be a partner and stuff. They don't allow like just two guys doing a live stream to use their APIs. So
It's not one of their use cases.
No. Like, are you a travel agent or are you a airline? What do you want us for? So I found one. I had to subscribe, but they did not ask for a credit card. So that's all I was looking for, something that didn't ask me for credit card. And I got this one. So I can send you the information, Alan.
Okay.
I plan to delete this immediately after the stream.
Okay. So you're fine with me exposing your API key.
Yeah,
Everybody
just like
watching is free to use it.
Again, it's not like a as you go kind of thing, so it doesn't have a credit card. So if it has 300 calls per month, and it's using it's Skyscanner, and it's on top. It's using Rapid API. So here's the key.
And it's an API key.
Yeah. The header it needs to go to is because the EventBridge connection requires you to tell it where the API key or the auth token is going to go in. So that specific header name is Rapid API.
It's Rapid API. Do you want me to just spell it like that?
No. I just sent it to you. Yeah, it's X-Rapid API-key.
Okay. And so before I continue, I just want to take a step back and talk about what we're doing real quick. So we're doing the prerequisite work to be able to call an HTTP endpoint directly inside of a step function workflow, which is a new thing that they released. I think it was at reInvent this past year, where you can actually just make these HTTP calls directly from your workflow. Prior to that, the standard practice was just to call them inside of a Lambda function, where you just need to hit a REST endpoint or something. So now you can do that directly inside of your workflow, no Lambda function necessary. But in order to do that, you have to be able to authorize your connection. And even if it's public, you're still required to set up, at least as of right now, a connection that it uses for auth. So what we're doing is we went inside of the EventBridge console and we're setting up this connection that has Andres' API key, and we tell it where things are going. Oh, that's nice.
Ooh, nice. Okay.
There. Okay. And then invocation HTTP param.
There's another header. So is that where you select a parameter? I think that you select a header there. And then it's I sent you the host. It's not secret. That one is pretty.
Okay. What's the name is called Rapid API host. Okay.
Yep. And the value.
Is there anything else?
That's all. And then I'll send you the endpoint. So there's some. It's kind of a weird API. It kind of forces you to call a lot, right? So you can't just tell it, find me flights for Cancun, right? You need to get it like an ID from it to then use for the from and to.
Well, that makes sense. That makes sense. Because you have to get the airport code, and it has to be a valid airport code. Otherwise, it's not going to work.
Yeah, so I'll send you. You want to search round trip or one way?
I think I took off the option from the form for I'm not coming back. So we will do round trip.
Okay.
All right.
So
while you're doing that, I'm going to look at this. Cool. So I just typed in HTTP and it gives me an option to call a third-party API, which is the next thing. Actually, before I do that, I want us to do multiple things at the same time in here, because now we can start looking at hotels, we can look up for things to do, we can look up flights all at the same time, so we don't have to do things one after another and add to that time that it takes to get our final itinerary. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a parallel state to say do all these things at the same time. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add a branch in here for that. So we'll say this is going to be the flight one, the flight branch. And then we'll say get, I guess, airport code, we'll call it. And then we have our API endpoint. Okay, I haven't used this before. I'm actually really excited to try it in front of all of my friends online. So
And
there's no path parameters. Is this a get?
so we're actually going to need the first call, which is an autocomplete, and I'm sending that endpoint. That's where we're going to get the entity ID,
Okay.
and that will take params.
It does
which
take
I'm
parameters.
assuming- Yeah. So authentication, you'll have that, and then it's query parameters.
What is
It's
this? A get?
It's a get. Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to do it a get. Go there. Authentication. We are going to use our travel connection. So you saw that we just created that, and then it populated in here. That's going to be holding our API key securely. And then there's nothing in the request body because we're doing a get. And then we can add probably. Okay. Oh, that's.
There's another section with query params down there.
Did you hear my just like disappointed gasp there? Okay. What are the parameters called?
So
I
it's
guess
query.
just one, right?
It has market and locale. I don't know if those are required.
Okay. Well, all we have
It
is
says
Cancun,
optional.
New Mexico.
Yeah, so just do that. Do
What's it
whatever
called?
we have there. It's query.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
it's kind of a search.
Okay. And so what we said here is we're going to pass into this query parameter the value that we have in destination, which in our last run would have been Cancun, Mexico. Now that we turned up the temperature, it might be Mars, but we'll see.
Is there an airport in Mars?
Maybe there's a spaceport. Is this a spaceport API?
No.
Oh,
That would be
Okay.
nice.
would it?
Watch
Okay,
too
we
many
don't need
space
URL
shows.
encoding. Ugh. Oh man, we're okay.
It needs to be. What did you say? I don't think
Chances
that's
are
needed.
this is not going to work because we're going to need to encode URL encode the value.
What if we just print out the city without the country?
Let's just see what happens, and then we can cross that bridge if we get there. That's because hopefully I'm wrong. Okay, so that's it, and then we should be good, right?
Yep.
Okay, so let's run that before we chain the next thing. Here we go. Do you think it's
See
going to
what
work?
happens. I think we're. Maybe not.
Let's see what happens. Nope. Okay. Access denied.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So the role that we have is not allowed to do that.
For the step function, it needs access to the event bridge connection and something else. And I do have my example. If you want to get
Great.
this HTTP invoke set, and we'll add it somewhere, we'll share that. But I have a post and how to do it with SAM,
Nice.
which is why. I
So
know
can you
SAM.
then just go into IAM and update this role with what we need?
Yes, I'll need to.
Or
get
you
a
can
secret.
you could probably just redeploy that role from the code.
I don't know if it's going to overwrite everything that you just did because of the drift. So you know what? Let me turn off SAM sync at this point.
Good call.
Yeah, because
Okay. I mean, for safety, I can just copy this or duplicate it.
no, we're good.
Okay.
So I got.
So we need to update the
confirmation.
permissions to be able to access the event bridge connection, and also do what states.invoke HTTP endpoint.
So here I got the IAM role open.
I'm not going to show your screen. While you're doing that, I'm going to take this as an opportunity to say thank you to the Believe in Serverless sponsors, Momento and Serverless Guru. We have grown, the community has grown to a point where, yes, we have sponsors now. So that is extremely exciting. I have been smiling ear to ear ever since I had a conversation with Jonathan. We brought Serverless Guru on, and started started engaging more and wider inside of the serverless community. So excited for what we have the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's taken off and feels good. Getting new members every day and a lot of things happening, a lot of conversations, streams, presentations, a lot of knowledge sharing. So that's pretty cool. And the community and being to a point where we actually got sponsors and keep growing. It's
very exciting.
Mind blowing for me.
Can we get the air horn, Jonathan? Get the air horn, the success air horn.
There you go.
Amazing. Yes.
With that.
Oh man.
The volume went way up.
Wow.
Okay, and then I need a.
Love doing things live. That was awesome.
That felt like we're doing like a Bitcoin or some crypto live stream. And this is going up.
Oh, we got one. Okay.
So I think I've got the policy.
Okay, and just let me know when that's open. So just for everyone that's watching, we're not actually changing anything in the workflow itself, but the role inside of AWS that is used to run the workflow, it wasn't allowed. We didn't give it permissions to call an external endpoint. So Andres is in there right now saying, yeah, you can do that. Okay, now you tell me when that's ready and we'll run it again.
It should be ready.
Okay, and I also should have taken this as an opportunity to see where we were going. It was going to Cancun again. I'm about to update it.
That's just the destination, Alan. That's where we got to go.
Rude. Yeah, I mean, for those that have been, it's pretty legit. Let's go again. Okay. So we probably could have done like a double parallel here, because what we're also going to have to do is look up the airport code for the source, like where I started, like the Dallas airport for me. Okay, let's see what's wrong. Oh, we got a 500. That means it at least did something. That's so good. So good. Okay. Look at that output. Internal. Okay, that's really all that it says. Internal server error.
Interesting.
The easiest things to troubleshoot, right? When you get a 500 back from an API. Okay, so let's see. So it's just called query, and it might be that it doesn't like Cancun, Mexico. Did you say you have this running in Postman? Like, can we watch you do that and see if that's what our problem is?
Yeah.
My guess is that because we're not passing this in URL encoded, it's breaking.
Yeah, I'm opening Postman.
I'm trying to see what else I can look at from here. Oh yeah, I was going to look up intrinsic functions to see if there was any sort of encoding things that we can do in code. There's base 64 encoding, which is not what we want.
Okay, well, but Postman kind of does it for you, right? If do query Cancun, Mexico. Do you want to show? I've got it.
Oh yeah, let's bring you up. Can you zoom in, please?
No. How do you zoom in?
Control plus.
That's what I'm trying.
Control mouse wheel. It is just a Chromium window.
Control plus equals. Interesting.
Oh,
it's the other plus. The other plus.
Can't see with the dark theme in my sunglasses. Okay, what you got?
So it did work. Here's the query, and this is what we got.
But when you look at the console, did it URL encode the query string?
This is getting in the way. Console.
It did. It does have the percent. So I guess how do we do the test? Yeah, let's do this. I stole the screen back, and what we're going to do is we're going to test the state, and we're going to say the destination is just Cancun, and let's see if we can get a 200.
Nice. Don't reveal secrets.
Okay, that didn't work.
That's
This is
coming.
really hard to debug.
Yeah. I mean, that's coming from. Okay, so go. What URL are you calling? Yeah, so Skyscanner, ADP, RapidAPI.com, API v1, flights, autocomplete, query parameters with destination. Interesting.
I mean, it makes me think that the connection is wrong. I don't know. It's a 500. I would have expected if we were doing something wrong, we would get a 4xx something coming back. But because it's a 500, no say, I am unsure. Okay, let's make sure that I didn't type in the headers wrong. So it's X Rapid API key, and then we also have X Rapid API host. And we're using, is it supposed to be HTTP or is it HTTPS for the host?
HTTPS. Oh, wait. Host. I don't even have HTTP, so just do skyscanner80.p.rapidapi.com without the slash at the end.
Okay. Oh man. All right, we're gonna try it again. The header X. Okay, let me go back to our chat and see what it was. X Rapid API host, and then
that's the and remove the slash at the
Okay, that feels good. That feels like that could have actually been the problem. Let's try it. Where were we? I guess we could probably just try it from here, huh? Test it again.
Start test.
I guess this is promising. If it's taking, it's actually kind of concerning.
Oh, status false, but
status false, locked.
Oh, come on,
locked.
Try.
Don't think it was a rate limiter. Apparently you have like 499,000 requests left on your free plan. Good for you.
It's saying something about CAPTCHA, so that definitely doesn't work with just pure API. And the response, if you expand the there. So now it's so tough to get an API to just look up flights, and I was like, oh yeah, Google Flights, and that's not an API you can use anymore.
Well, the good news here is that we were actually able to get the HTTP endpoint to work. Yes. Well, to be called successfully from step functions. I feel like we're gonna have to move on because I don't want to get hung up on this if this is some weird thing. Like I don't know why. Actually, I want to see, can it work with Cancun, Mexico?
Because I'm getting that now from Postman as well. So
so maybe it was like okay, and now that one worked.
We got stuff?
Yeah. Yes.
So yeah, data. So what we need is that ID, that first thing.
Oh, this
yeah
thing that looks like a JWT.
Yeah, it is actually, and I did not decode any of those, but it seemed like it is a JWT.
We're going to. Okay. I don't know why we didn't just pass that in, but it is what it is. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's fine. Okay, so we need to get to. Okay, let's see what this looks like when it actually runs, so we can figure out how to get there.
Okay, well, keep the ID in case we get rate limited again, and we can just hard code the Cancun
Okay.
from.
Good idea.
Always
idea.
be prepared.
Okay. Yeah, let's run. Run. It's really cool. Like how these things come together. It hasn't been ideal that we've like literally messed up on every single piece of it, but we are here now where we've taken the inputs from that form and passed it to an LLM with context that we built, and then are now using that to figure out where you need to go. It's pretty neat, and when you think about it, really.
Yeah.
Okay, so on the opposite side, adds a bunch of headers. Okay, so response body.
It's blocked again.
Okay, that's annoying, but
Yeah.
where are we trying to go? Cancun again. Seriously, I'm a little frustrated that it keeps saying Cancun, but
It's where we need to go. It's fine.
okay. Let's figure it out though. So it was response body dot message. Where were we when we were? Oh, it was in here. Okay, let's call another one. Let's do the chaining call.
Cool. So the next one, and I have it in Postman, and we can hard code the from. But
This is a get, right?
Yeah, it's
I
also a
got
get with a search. It's a search dash round trip. I think I sent you the.
Yep, got that. So we're
Well-
changing the endpoint to that. And then what's the
And-
query param? It's a get, you said. Yes?
Yeah, it has a from ID.
Okay.
So,
From underscore ID? From
no, it's
okay,
camel
from
case.
ID. Okay, and then how we need to get to that is response.
Dot body.
Yeah.
Oh, we need
yeah.
to do a get item.
Do we?
Yeah. Because it's an array.
What is?
The data that comes back, even though it comes back with one for Cancun.
Okay. So what is the array? What's the path to the array? Response body dot data?
Data. Yep.
And then that's it, right?
Yeah, you need to close the parentheses. Oh yeah, you still need the 0.
Well, that's annoying. We're gonna have to do a pass on this to be able to get to the ID property. There has to be a better way to do that. But
I'm thinking.
until then,
Yeah, no. No. I don't see it.
yeah. Okay. Here we go. Back to this. Get airport. So we will do airport is this. Without the extra quotes.
Yeah.
Okay. And so that was the JSON. That's going to give us the object itself. And then from within that object, we need the ID property, right?
Yes.
Yep. So in here, we have,
It's in the query params. Yeah.
from ID. And that's going to be
Airport.id.
airport.id.
You're missing a period after the $sign.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay.
That's the from ID. If you want to hard code or maybe that's the to ID, and the from ID, I'm sending you one that I already had.
This is the to ID. Do you have the?
Yeah.
You know what? That's fine.
I just sent you a from ID.
Where's this?
So- El Paso. So everybody has to travel from El Paso.
We used to say that a lot when we were not the El Paso thing, but when we were building stuff from scratch, was just hard code it. This works for a subset of users. Some subset of users it works.
Yeah. We only support from El Paso in our first release.
The local app.
I wonder what's going to happen. We might need to hard code some dates. Part of what we wanted to do is also get the LLM to tell us when is the best date for the location for the temperatures I want, right?
Yes.
So those are query parameters as well.
Those are required?
It appears to be, yeah. So it's going to be depart date, camel case, and do it's ISO 8601, so 2024 06 or ooh, you're going far.
Yeah, it's planning for next year. Let's see, a good time to travel, January or June 12th.
Oh, it's my wife's birthday. Cool. Works out.
I know, that's why I chose it.
Then return date.
Know that. I have to make sure that everyone knows I didn't actually know that. Okay.
Return date. And something cool, I mean, if this API actually worked most of the time, you can specify adults, children, right? So you can see how, if you actually were a partner of any of these APIs, you can go very detailed as far as the planning goes for flights. Some, except for like trains, traveling by car. I sent Ellen an API yesterday that calculates time and like maps routes based on like bike, car, and so a lot of options if you are actually a partner. But we're just playing around, so we don't get those luxuries. But you can specify how many adults, right? So in our case, we're married, we're traveling as a couple. Well, no, not Alan and I, but the people doing this.
The people in the form. The people in the form.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can specify 2 adults there. So that's pretty cool. Let's see if that works.
And we do have that. I mean, that is part of the input that we got was we're traveling with significant other. So you can say you have 2. I think children was on there, but we didn't have a number of children. But if this was a production app, we would.
Yeah. Nice. Okay. Did work for this one, I guess.
I don't know. I think it's a success and returns 500.
A status of false.
Okay, hold on. I changed to mountains. I said I don't want beach anymore, so we're not doing Cancun anymore. So let's see. Where are you getting those? Where? You know what? I'm not.
That was like clip art from back in the day.
Okay, so this time it wanted us to go to Zermatt, Switzerland.
Ooh.
So that's what we're looking flights. Do you think they fly direct from El Paso to Zermatt, Switzerland?
Probably. It is an international airport, but maybe because they fly to Mexico.
Okay, it actually had one. Cool.
Okay, and then get flights. And
no
it's gonna no. It says failure. I've heard that too many times in my life. But it's a status of true with a message of success, but with a nested message of status failure. Cool.
I think that means that it can't find flight.
Do you want me to try and get Dallas as a starting point? Since
yeah, let's go ahead and do that. And what we would change, and honestly, what we probably should change in, if we had more than 10 minutes, would be to add another parallel branch into here, and it would be pulling. You know what? Let's just do it. It's not hard to do. So in our flights branch, what we'll do is we'll say get the airport code of the source, and then we will do get the airport code of the destination.
Nice. Yeah.
And so that's going to be calling that API 2 times, one with what the LLM said, and then the other one for what the form said. And we can really, all we have to do in order to change that is change this. So we have that's destination to source. Advanced parameters, query string. So this is where we go to execution dot input dot, I think it was, nope, don't remember. Dot where do you live? Okay. It is nice that this notation works. Okay, and so this is going to be airport lookup. And then what we'll do is we'll bring get airport in there. We'll duplicate that. And we're going to pull this from both. So we have, yep. We're just going to duplicate all this stuff.
Copy paste, right?
Yeah, it is. And then from flights, then we have where we're going to put our output from the parallel is we will say airports. And so what this is going to do is it's going to create a JSON property called airports that's an array. The first item in the array is going to be the output from this branch, and the second item is going to be the output from this branch, with both of them being the word airport. And so all we would have to do is update this.
One cool thing you can do in the parallel, if you don't want to have to manipulate the array and all that, is in the result path. I think it's the result path. No, the result selector. You can actually kind of denormalize a little bit. So instead of getting the array, you can say from airport to airport, and then just select the array in the result selector. And it's like, it's a little bit cleaner as the output.
That is, yes, you're exactly right. Okay, there we go. Look at that. Do you think it's going to send us to that place in Switzerland again?
Probably. I mean, it's pretty stuck to what it wants.
Well, it's just really sure that if you want a good time and you want warm weather, go to Cancun.
Yeah. Hit Senor Frogs.
Yeah.
There you go. Lovely.
Yes. Okay, so this says it couldn't find it, I think because we were
rate limited.
We were something blocked.
Yeah, so if you were truly building the next unicorn application for travel agencies,
you're not
you
using
would be able to get or this version of Skyscanner from Rapid API, because there's Skyscanner like proper, but it asks you to be a partner, and we don't meet the criteria to become partners, Alan.
Mm-hmm. Well,
or Expedia or Priceline or anything I look for. So
yeah. Okay, so let's just demonstrate one more time, or I guess the next step of what it would be, because we didn't obviously get this done. Unfortunately. Let's ask for things to do. How about that?
Yeah.
Let's do this. Invoke model. We're gonna have to do this first. We're gonna have to create our model input. Oh no.
Yeah, it doesn't do
Here we go.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we're gonna duplicate this too. Okay. Ask for things to do. Ooh, do you like how I switched the capitalization?
Yeah.
Okay. And on the input. Okay. How should we phrase it?
recommend
the
things
only-
to do and blah.
recommend some activities to do in blank.
Yep.
When let's bring in the age for someone who is
That's
how
in
would I
the
say that?
input, right? So we didn't lose it.
Yeah.
We don't lose it in the state. Okay. For
Correct.
someone who is, just put the age. I think it's assuming it correctly.
Okay. Age, years. And then with a budget of ranging from $1 sign to $4 signs. Cool. So we can do that. The first one that we had in here was the destination. So we can do destination. The second one was the age. So we can
Which
do
is execution.input.
input.h, right?
Yeah.
And then the last one that we had was the budget.
That one is just budget, capital B.
Okay, and we don't really need to change anything for that. And then that rolls into body. Get things to do. Okay.
You probably want to.
Oh, no.
No.
Ah, man. It's okay, because the Workflow Studio saves things locally. That is.
Okay.
I don't know how often it does that, but I'm gonna go back to your screen real quick while I sign back in.
I can do requests. Who wants to see Skyscanner?
I'm back.
So this is what it actually returns when it works.
I hope it works.
Yeah, who knows at this point? Yeah, so you can see, yeah, incomplete, but it still gives you itineraries, pricing options. This is from Hawaii, or this is from El Paso to Hawaii, so you get Honolulu and El Paso. I guess I have a direct flight from here, which is nice.
Oh, good for you.
It gives you logos and all stuff to build like your UI. But yeah, are you signed back in?
I am going to bring this back real quick. And you can see at first glance, like, oh, dang it, all that work that I just did is gone. But I do have a banner up at the top that says unsaved workflow found.
That
So
requires a
it
horn.
saves that.
Beep, 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 beep.
Yeah, we didn't lose it.
Oh.
Yes. Yes.
Keeps
Amazing.
throwing
Okay, let's
confetti.
try it. I think this has got to be the last thing that we have to do.
It might fail on the
Then we-
HTTP request before, so if it doesn't, we'll see.
Kill the whole thing.
Yeah.
I just feel so bad doing that. But
Try running it and see if it works.
No, we're just gonna do it. We're just gonna do that. Save. And then oh, come on.
What?
We're going back here. We're gonna Jonathan is up in this game, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, here we go. Last one. Okay, so it's gonna get a new place for us to go, and then it's gonna ask for things to do, given the budget that we had and our age. Okay, let's look at these things to do. It did send us back to Switzerland, apparently. Where are we going?
I think we need to parse
never
that
mind.
JSON.
Again. Never mind. So the things that we could do with a moderate budget, we could go hiking. Do you like hiking?
Yeah, I do.
I know you do. We've been on many hikes together.
Yep.
Moderate to high budget, we could go skiing or snowboarding. And then high budget is heli skiing. That might be worth the splurge to say that
Wow.
I went heli skiing.
What, like Triple X, right? Vin Diesel and.
Yeah, he's probably the tour guide.
I would pay that.
Fast 11, heli skiing. Okay, so let's recap. We did not build a vacation planning app, but we tried.
We got some of the pieces, right?
We did.
It's not a full app.
The pieces, we really did knock out all of the pieces that I wanted to get done, which was calling the LLM, piecing together the inputs from a form, which was, that's something in itself. That's not necessarily trivial. We tried the optimized integration, but realized that no, that doesn't support the new Claude models, which is a lesson learned, because anything that comes into Bedrock does not mean that it is going to be in that optimized integration. So that means probably.
And Sam did ask what features are missing from the non-optimized. I truly do not know, but maybe not optimized.
What features are missing? It's supposed to be friendlier. Like when you're in the Workflow Studio or inside of the IDE using the Workflow Studio, it's supposed to be easier to use, because you saw. I don't know, Sam, if you were on at the very beginning, but Andres and I spent like 20 minutes trying to figure out the inputs to that, and so the shortcuts there in the optimized task were. I am using Anthropic's model, so it gives you the prompt for that, and it also abstracts away the outer stuff away from the body, so you can say here's the model and whatnot. When we were using the direct task, we had to do like the accept JSON, the content type header. It's the full thing, so it's a little bit more managed on that. But we also did the HTTP endpoint, so that was cool. We actually got that up and working. It was, as far as like the task goes, I thought that it was fine. It was a decent experience.
It's pretty simple, and it has the optimized pieces where to specify headers, query parameters. One thing I've seen a lot is like, hey, but this is an open API, right? It doesn't have security, and you kind of need to specify dummy security for those. So the biggest piece is the connection details and the policies, the permissions from the step function to set those up.
Yep. And then that was everything. So we used the intrinsic functions. We showed that we can do a whole bunch of stuff there. We have the parallel branches. We can consolidate information from a parallel branch to a single property and use that.
We didn't get into the map. That's the one we missed, which is basically a loop.
I'm not sure this workflow had an opportunity to use a map.
We could have done the location array with a map. That's what I was thinking.
Oh, yeah. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, we ultimately could have done, like, if we got further along in the whole thing, we could have said, give me 3 options and build a full itinerary for 3 different vacations, and then use the map to iterate over basically the same thing. Finding the flights and how much the flights cost, finding the activities, finding the places to stay, and then rolling that up at the outside of the map. You're right. But yeah, that was good. That was I learned a lot there. There was a lot that we covered today. Granted, we didn't build the vacation app. Sad about that. We're gonna have to plan our own, I guess.
We'll see.
But we did use the AI models directly in step functions. Super nice. HTTP integrations also nice. It did fail, which was a question for me. Like when we got the 500 back, the state failed. So that was what I would intuitively expect instead of a success. And then checking, I know that's your least favorite thing when it comes to APIs, a success with a 500 in it, payload. And then with the intrinsic functions. So we didn't use any Lambda functions.
Yeah, that's kind of giving the point of you can run a lot of compute without a lambda function serverlessly. So that's cool.
It is.
Nice. Yeah, I learned mostly on the Bedrock side, right? I hadn't used that, and doing the direct integrations on step functions. That was nice. A lot of parsing because it's non-optimized, but still intrinsic functions. We were able to get there, right, with intrinsic functions and all that. Would I do that on my production? The parsing, maybe not, but it depends on how complex it gets.
What would you do instead?
If it's too complex with optional properties and all that, it would be a Lambda function, right? The Stitcher. get it there.
Okay. I don't really see another option. I
Yeah.
didn't know if you were going to surprise me on that answer.
No, because then you get stuck with multiple choices, trying to null check with step functions and choices, and that gets very nasty very fast.
Yeah. Yep. Well, all right. This was cool. Learned a lot. So next week, hit them with what we're doing next week, Andres.
Yet another thing I haven't tried, but it's going to be fun, is going to be using temporal to build this same thing. Try to build this same thing.
I don't know if I want to build the whole thing. This project was way bigger than I was expecting.
Yeah.
Something though. We'll come up with something.
But using temporal, which is kind of a step function equivalent and a separate, just a separate service that does orchestration. So we're going to give that a try. Third-party vendor outside of AWS that does orchestration. So curious to learn a little bit about that. I know I've seen a lot of chat inside of the Discord about temporal, about it being a valid option, but everybody says that, but I haven't found anybody that's actually used it. So we're going to go in and see how easy it is to actually use. So I will be in Colorado next week when we're streaming. So maybe we can do some sort of like mountain theme, like some mountain workflow or something in there. Like maybe we can go in and instead of like a vacation thing, we can figure out the hikes that I should be going and taking over the weekend. I like that.
Yeah, me too. Okay. So thank you everybody for sticking with us. I know 2 hours is a long time, especially for a Friday, and especially for, I think almost everybody I see in the comments is from Europe. So thank you for spending your Friday night with us. That's such an honor. Until next time, thank you. Thank you again to our sponsors, Momento and Serverless Guru. We appreciate you and believe in serverless.
See you.
Bye, everybody.
See you next time, Al.